Julia, welcome. Thank you so much for your time today, sharing a little bit more about the growth story of emonitor. Julia, you're the head of marketing at emonitor. Can you explain in a nutshell what emonitor is about?
Yes, thank you very much for having me, Joel. We are a startup from St. Gallen, a PropTech startup. That means a startup from the real estate sector. And we are digitizing the rental and selling processes for our clients of their apartments and their properties.
Cool. Thank you very much. Now, Julia, your growth journey already started quite a while ago. I remember it was like beginning 2021 as we first started talking to each other. Can you explain to the audience a little bit what the situation was back then and what your biggest challenges were?
Yes, back then we were really at the beginning of our startup. And to be honest, it was total chaos. No, not really total chaos for sure, but we didn't have any frameworks to track our marketing and sales processes. We worked with HubSpot as a CRM, but we didn't really know how to use all the features of this tool. And we actually had also no clue what is working, what is not working. So we just did sales and marketing activities, but we thought we are good and are working, but we couldn't be really sure about that.
Okay, cool. Now I remember we started like talking, getting a better for understanding for your company in this situation. What was ultimately the reason why you decided to invest more into growth hacking and to join our program?
Um, Actually, one of our early investors, Alpana Ventures, brought us to the program. I think it was the first workshop round you did, and
Yes.
it was quite an adventure, and we didn't know exactly what we are getting into. We didn't have so much resources back then, and we weren't so many people. But we are really happy and very thankful that everybody convinced us to take the time and dive fully into it. It was really worth it to start it.
Cool, happy to hear. I also remember, I think that case was very also interesting in a sense that in the beginning, once as we started working together, there were really a lot of like new frameworks, a lot of new words and everything, where also like certain first employees were like, hey, this is maybe a little bit too much or a little bit too new for us. But then I remember there was like maybe 1 or 2 months in where you also gave us the feedback, hey, in the beginning there was like this like situation, but now we're actually super convinced. Can you maybe outline just a little bit again from your perspective what that situation was?
Like at the beginning, we had the feeling you are talking Chinese. Like we always talking about that, how this was at the beginning, because the words and everything and all the yeah the um, yeah the words were just so unknown for us, and we really had to learn a lot and to get into the topic. And now after nearly 2 years working with the growth hacking system, everything is so clear and so understandable. But at the beginning, it was really a big effort for us to understand everything, yeah, and to get into all the thinking and yeah, the growth hacking thinking, yeah.
Yeah, cool. I remember you did like a very great job. Like the team was very proactive, very engaged, and we like simply followed our like standard scaling program in like looking into message market fit, understanding product market fit, measuring it, starting building up your data foundation in your CRM, creating the pirate funnel, identifying the growth levers. So that all went really, really well. What were your biggest aha moments in that process?
Yeah, at the beginning, we had to set up the pirate funnel. And this really took us some time because we didn't track our data and our leads correctly. We had a lot of missing data. And when we tried to set up the framework, we suddenly realized that so many things are missing. And but when we finished the setup of the data, we were really amazed how you can see which channel is working and which one is not working, even with the small data we had back then. And as our sales cycles are very long, our sales cycles are between 2 and 6 to 8 months. It is really hard still now in the moment. It takes us a lot of time to collect the data, and every quarter we are finishing, it gets better and better, and we're getting more insights. So this is really amazing, and it allows us also to be completely transparent and to also to give a guideline to the different departments what they are focusing on, what they should focus on, and what they should just forget because it's not working. So this is really a new situation for us and also for myself in my working career. I never had such a clear guideline and such a clear understanding of what I'm doing and what activities are successful and what activities are not successful. So this was really, really cool, yeah, showing the progress.
Cool. That sounds super interesting. Definitely also a lot of insights here for like other people which they can actually learn from on their journey. Now, before we go more into this, after we start working together for about 6 months, what were some of the greatest achievements your team accomplished?
After 6 months, I can say that we had 155% created opportunities per month. So plus, so we had a tracking system set up where we could track all the channels, inbound and outbound, and see what activities are successful and what activities bring no success. So this is really a very good achievement. And we also had the possibility to plan how many leads we need in the different channels to get to our goals. So to which channels we should scale for the next year or also for the next quarter. So also if somebody new is entering the team, they get clear goals, they get clear OKRs they have to follow. And this is really a good achievement for our team, I think.
hmm Cool. Now it's already, I think, almost, yeah, a little bit more than 1.5 years since you actually started this journey. From all those new tactics and methods you learned along the way, among many you just mentioned before, what were the things that you really embedded in the culture of your company, and how has it actually affected the way you work as a business today?
So in the moment, right now, we work much more numbers orientated. That means that we can track everything and we really concentrate on these activities which we can measure. So we don't do any image activities anymore. For like, I can talk now, especially for marketing, because in marketing you have a lot of image stuff you can do, which costs a lot of budget, but you don't know how many people saw that print ad or how many people interacted with that article you have in a newspaper. So it's not trackable. And right now, as we don't have a lot of budget, we are still very limited with our resources. We can concentrate on these activities, which brings us also something, and we can really track them. And we can also like say with numbers, look, this brings us something, and this doesn't brings us something. It doesn't. It only brings us effort and yeah, limits our resources. So we really concentrate on the things which are really successful.
Happy to hear. And I think also by continuously applying that frameworks and those approaches, you did actually very, very well over the past quarters. In that period, you also like raised Series A of about 5 million, as I remember correctly. What are other key metrics which you have improved since?
I think we can say that our funnel increased in different levels. So when we look top of the funnel, the leads, we managed to increase the leads 6 times quarterly. When you look at the MQLs, at the marketing qualified leads, we managed to increase these 3 times quarterly. And when you go to opportunities, we managed to increase the opportunities 2.5 times quarterly. So now we really need to work on increasing our bottom of funnel conversion rates. Sorry. We also worked a lot on the sales process So now we can really say that our sales and marketing team is really aligned, and we really figured out every step of the marketing and sales process till the deal is closed. We also worked a lot on the website, so on the conversion rates of the website, and do it more user friendly. So we are also running one outbound campaign a month. So we really scaled our outbound channel. We automated the channel, and we are able to run automated email campaigns monthly, which brings us a really good number of meetings. So the most important thing for me is that we really bring our teams together. We put everybody on one table, and we try to work together on goals which we set together, and we try to bring everybody to keep a strong focus.
Wow. Okay. 6x increase in leads, 3x increase in MQLs, 2.5x increase in quarterly created opportunities. That's definitely some results to talk about. And I totally agree with you that such results are only achieved if you really manage to rally all your team and your entire company behind a very, very clear focus. So well done, Julia. Congratulations. Now, my last question would be, have you any recommendations to anyone out there thinking about getting more into growth hacking, thinking about focusing more on data-driven scaling, and maybe joining one of our programs?
First, you really need to be committed, and you really need to have time. It's not something you can do just, I don't know, like during your 150% engagement. So you really need to have commitment, and to have also people who are taking care of it, and to to be really committed. But if you are committed, then it's the best thing you can do, I think. Not even only for startups, but also for traditional companies. So I think it's a really cool system, and everybody can profit from it.